Jungkook never thought he'd see him again. 5 years ago, he had walked away from Taehyung, believing it was for the best. He had tried to move on, build a new life, and forget the man who once owned his heart. But fate had other plans. Now, sitting in the dimly lit office of one of the most feared Mafia bosses in the city, Jungkook's hands trembled in his lap. The guards who had dragged him here stood by the door, waiting for orders. His heart pounded as he lifted his gaze, only to meet a pair of dark, piercing eyes that had haunted his dreams. Taehyung sat behind his desk, calm and unreadable. The years had changed him. He looked more powerful, more controlled, yet the way he stared at Jungkook was exactly the same. "You're quiet," Taehyung finally spoke, his deep voice filling the room. "Not going to ask why you're here." Jungkook swallowed hard. "I already know." His voice was steadier than he felt. "I was sold." Taehyung's jaw tightened. His fingers tapped against the desk, a subtle sign of irritation. "Sold." Like an object, his voice was soft but laced with something dangerous. Jungkook forced a bitter smile. "Isn't that how this world works?" Silence stretched between them. Taehyung's eyes darkened, but instead of looking pleased, as Jungkook had expected, he looked almost pained. "Do you think I would ever let that happen to you?" Taehyung asked quietly. Jungkook frowned. What did he mean? He had been brought here against his will. He had been taken. "I do not expect kindness from you," Jungkook muttered. "Not after everything," Taehyung sighed, standing up slowly. He walked around the desk, each step measured and deliberate, until he was standing in front of Jungkook. Gently, he reached out and tilted Jungkook's chin up, making him meet his gaze. "I don't need you to expect anything," he murmured. "I just need you to understand. I never wanted to hurt you." Jungkook's breath hitched. This wasn't how he had imagined this reunion. He had expected cold revenge, anger, cruelty. Not this. Not Taehyung looking at him like he still cared. "Then what do you want?" Jungkook whispered. Taehyung's fingers lingered on his skin for a moment before he pulled away, his expression unreadable. "To protect you," Taehyung said simply. Jungkook's heart stuttered. Because if Taehyung meant those words, if he really meant them, then everything he thought he knew about their past, their separation, and even the man before him might have been wrong all along. And that scared him more than anything. Jungkook's breath felt unsteady as he processed Taehyung's words. To protect you, the man he had once loved, the man he had left behind, was standing before him now, not as a ruthless mafia boss ready to punish him, but as someone claiming to protect him. Jungkook clenched his fists. "Why would you want to protect me?" Taehyung's expression remained unreadable, but there was something in his eyes, something deep, something Jungkook wasn't ready to face. "I have my reasons," Taehyung said simply. Jungkook scoffed. "You have reasons?" His voice was laced with disbelief. "You had 5 years to look for me. You didn't. And now you suddenly care." Taehyung's jaw tightened, but he didn't react in anger. Instead, he sighed. "You think I didn't try?" Jungkook froze. "I searched for you, Jungkook," Taehyung continued, his voice lower now, almost strained. "But you disappeared. No trace. No contact. Nothing." Jungkook looked away, guilt stirring in his chest. He had wanted to disappear. He had made sure Taehyung wouldn't find him. Taehyung took a step closer, his presence overwhelming. "And now, after all these years, you suddenly end up being sold to me? Do you really think that's a coincidence?" Jungkook blinked. What do you mean? Taehyung hesitated, then pulled out a small file from his desk and handed it to Jungkook. Look at this. Jungkook hesitated before opening the file. His eyes widened as he skimmed through the pages. Bank transactions, contracts, forged signatures, all leading to one truth. This was planned, Jungkook whispered, gripping the papers tightly. Taehyung nodded. Someone wanted you to end up here. With me. Jungkook's heartbeat quickened. But why? Who? A knock at the door interrupted them. One of Taehyung's men stepped in, bowing slightly. Boss, we have a problem, Taehyung exhaled sharply. What is it? The guard hesitated. There's been an attack. Someone's looking for Jungkook. Jungkook's blood ran cold. Taehyung's eyes darkened instantly. He turned back to Jungkook, his expression no longer gentle. It was fierce, protective. You're staying with me, Taehyung said firmly. No arguments. Jungkook wanted to protest, but the fear in his chest held him still. Whoever had done this, whoever had sold him off and was now coming after him, they weren't finished yet. And the only thing standing between Jungkook and whoever wanted him gone was Taehyung. Jungkook's mind raced as he processed the words. Someone's looking for Jungkook. Fear tightened in his chest, but before he could speak, Taehyung was already giving orders. Double security. No one enters or leaves without my permission. Yes, boss. The guard bowed before leaving. Jungkook clenched his fists. Taehyung, I can't just. You can and will stay. Taehyung cut in, stepping closer. His expression was no longer just protective, it was determined. I don't know who's after you, but I won't let them take you away from me again. Jungkook looked away. Why do you still care? Taehyung sighed, running a hand through his hair. Because I never stopped. Jungkook's breath caught. I know you think I let you go easily back then, but I didn't. Taehyung continued, his voice raw. I searched for you. I needed to find you. And now that you're here, I'm not letting you slip away again. Jungkook's heart pounded. But what if I don't want to stay? Taehyung's jaw clenched, but instead of forcing an answer, he simply asked, do you really want to leave? Jungkook opened his mouth to lie, to say yes, but he couldn't. Because deep down, he knew the truth. He had never stopped loving Taehyung either. Just then, a loud noise erupted from outside, the sound of Taehyung immediately grabbed Jungkook's wrist and pulled him behind him. Stay close. The door burst open, and one of Taehyung's men rushed in. Boss. They breached the perimeter. Taehyung's expression hardened. Take Jungkook to the safe room. Now. No. Jungkook yanked his arm free. I'm not running away this time. Taehyung looked at him, eyes searching. Jungkook, if I run, they'll never stop coming after me, Jungkook said firmly. I want to know who's behind this. I want to fight. Taehyung stared at him for a long moment before nodding. Then stay by my side. The next few minutes were chaos. Shouting, the sound of footsteps rushing through the hall. Taehyung moved with precision, protecting Jungkook at every turn. And then, silence. Jungkook's breath was heavy as Taehyung's men secured the last attacker. Who sent you? Taehyung demanded. The man smirked. You should ask him. He jerked his chin toward Jungkook. Jungkook's stomach dropped. Me. The man chuckled. Your past is catching up to you, Jungkook. And it won't stop. Before Taehyung's men could get more information, the attacker bit down on something, cyanide. He collapsed instantly. Jungkook shivered. Who was after him? And why? Taehyung pulled him close, his warmth grounding him. "We'll find out," he promised. "But you're safe with me." Jungkook hesitated for a moment before resting his forehead against Taehyung's chest. "I don't want to run anymore," Taehyung exhaled, pressing a gentle hand to Jungkook's back. "Then don't." And for the first time in 5 years, Jungkook felt safe.